in 1957, there was a group of monks in Thailand who was moving a giant clay Buddha. So one of the monks noticed that there was a large crack on the Buddha. As he moved closer to the statue, he noticed a bright golden light being emitted behind the clay. So what he did was to take a hammer and a chisel to chip away at the clay, and what he found was the statue was actually made of solid gold. Historians believe that the Buddha was covered in clay to protect it from the Burmese attack. It is believed that it is made between the 13th and 14th century, and it took hundreds of years for everyone to realize that it was not an ordinary clay statue, but it was actually 5.5 tons of gold. So this story is a metaphor of how we live our lives. If you think back to the time where you were a children, or as you see children right now, the simplest things would make them happy. As children, we let our imaginations run without worrying whether it was practical or not. A cardboard box can keep us occupied for hours. But as we grow older, when we go to school, we learn a certain way to live. We limit ourselves for the fear of being judged, and we conform to social standards in order to fit in. So in other words, we are piling on layers and layers of clay on our own gold Buddha. To a child, there were no such complexities because everything was just fun. So today, I'm not going to tell you to be doing any more stuff. You have more than enough to do. In this video, I'm going to help you chip away at all the clay that's weighing you down to reveal a goal inside you. I will be using business examples here, but it's not limited to businesses. It can also be applied to your life and your relationships, so think about those areas too. So let's begin. So to all watch lovers and watch enthusiasts, you would have read the news. Patek Philippe, one of the most prestigious, if not the most prestigious watch brand in the world, decides to discontinue their most popular model, the Nautilus 5711, which has a 10-year waiting list. So you may ask, why does a brand cut their most popular model? What are they doing? So it's so that they can focus their resources on the best that they can do, which is their craftsmanship, their creative freedom, and their quest to be exceptional. So there is a link in the description box to read an article on the interview to see what the CEO thinks. Netflix consistently ranks as the top 3 best company to work for, together with Apple and Google. At Netflix, they're not looking for adequate performance. If you want to stay at Netflix, only extraordinarily outstanding performance is accepted. If you're not extraordinary, you're out. So it sounds harsh, but that's the standards that they are looking for, and the people working there love it. So these are 2 great companies making hard decisions to be exceptional. This is what Dr. Henry Cloud calls as necessary endings, which is also the title of his book. He says, as we fail to end things well, we are destined to repeat the same mistakes over and over again that keeps us from moving on. With every ending is the start of something new. It is a part of life. An infant becomes a toddler. With spring comes summer. Like our lives, it has seasons, stages, and phases. So growth demands that we move on. And in order to move on, there must be necessary endings. So in order to do that, decisions must be made to chip away at all the crummy stuff that you've been carrying with you. So in his book, Necessary Endings, Henry Cloud likens the act of ending like pruning a rose bush plant. So did you know, if you want to grow a healthy, thriving, blossoming rose bush plant, you need to be constantly pruning it. And you don't just prune everything. There are 3 kinds of pruning that you must do that yields the most beautiful roses. First one is to prune the healthy buds that are good but not your best bud. So like many other plants, a rose bush plant would produce more buds than it can sustain. So the plant has only enough resources and life to be able to feed so many rose buds to become their full potential. So in order to allow your truly best buds to thrive and blossom, the good ones must be pruned. Second one, prune the sick buds that aren't going to make it. You can try to save the bud by giving it more water or fertilizer or care, but at some point it's not going to make much of a difference. The sick buds are not going to be able to be beautiful blossoming rose you envision. So when it's pruned, again, more resources and life are left to your best buds to blossom. So the third and last one would be to prune the dead buds. So the dead buds aren't doing anything, but they are taking up space. It's preventing the healthy buds from reaching their full length and full height. So when you prune the dead ones, your best buds can fully focus on growing to its full potential. The activity of pruning is to remove whatever is unnecessary or unwanted so that you are left with the best. This can be in your business, your life, or your relationships. As you prune the unwanted and unnecessary parts of your life, you allow yourself to realize your full potential. Within you, there is gold. Remember, you have limited resources, time, money, and energy. So are you putting your resources to where you can truly shine and blossom? In your business, what is good but not great? What is sick? What is dead? It can be a process or system where you've been tolerating but you know that it's not working the way you want or the way that it can. It can be people in your company that can't take the company to the heights that you envision. What about unhealthy relationships that you're still holding on to? Shall that be pruned too? What about the bad habits that you've been keeping for no good reasons? Shall that be pruned too? So these are the necessary endings that you must take if you want to move forward. With every ending is a new beginning. So that person might not just be a right fit for you. They could be better and actually thrive somewhere else. You'll be doing yourself and them a favor by allowing them to get off the road of failure and onto the road of success. Sometimes the best thing we can do is to give up all hope on what you're currently trying to do. Like Patek Philippe, to be truly exceptional, to explore your creative freedom, and to be the best version of yourself, think about what must be pruned. What is good but not great? What is sick? What is dead weight? Finally, in order to know what to prune, you must know what a thriving rosebush plant looks like. Envision your rose by knowing what your outcome looks like. So before pruning, step 1 is to figure out who you are and who you want to be. Ask yourself, how will you define success? And how will you measure it? I made a previous video to guide you on goal setting and how to achieve it. So you can click on the link and watch the water later on how to define that success. So in summary, we are designed to shine and to blossom. In order to be truly exceptional, to realize your full potential, ask yourself, what is it that you must be pruning? Learn from the businesses and apply it to your life and your relationships. Before you prune, you must know what you are pruning towards. As you define your success, you can prune to that standard.